Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Tasha's Tales. On today's episode, we have a very reluctant guest. Emma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am the reluctant guest, and I am married to this one, fortunately or unfortunately.
Fortunately, of course. We all know that, right? So Emma was really reluctant to do this. Nonetheless, I have somehow managed to persuade him. So this might be the only appearance that he makes on the podcast, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So it's still Ramadan and we've just broken our fast and had a lovely cup of tea and it's time to have a little chat. So I wanted to start off by mentioning something that I came across the other day when I was reading the Quran. And I read a verse from Surah Baqarah that said, "They are your garments and you are their garments," meaning that's how spouses or partners were described in the Quran. And when I read this verse, it just really, really occurred to me like it's such a wonderful way of thinking about a relationship or about a spouse because, a garment is such an integral part of your being. A garment is for your modesty. It's used to keep you warm. It's there to support you. It's there at all times in life. And yeah, I thought that was really, really wonderful. And for me as well, the other thing is that not all fabrics are treated the same way. So silk isn't treated the same way as wool. And you treat them differently. You take care of the fabric in different ways. So that was kind of my take on it. What about you? How do you see that verse?
I'm not quite sure about the quality of fabrics that you delve into there. However, I do feel the one thing that I can add to the various things that you mentioned is that how a fabric brings out the beauty. Can bring out beauty in a person, and that is what a spouse would do to their spouse. They would bring out the more beautiful,
as in like enhance the qualities that are already there, so to speak.
Yes, they bring out the beauty in the other person, and just amplify the qualities, the good qualities that they have.
Yeah. And I just thought it was really, really nice and special. And I just wanted to share that. So when I was putting this episode together and I wanted to make mention of the bikes because, we have some running jokes about the bikes. And as much as Emma has an addiction, or shall we say obsession with bikes.
It is not an addiction or an obsession.
He has 3 of them inside my house, 2 of them on my walls and one a turbo trainer that's just there.
Just so everyone knows, that corner of the house is my corner. So those walls are my walls.
Oh, I know it's your corner, but you are still anyways, it's fine. We've established that
it's not an addiction.
Okay, whatever. So Emma's got these 3 bikes inside my house, and I have a joke that, so in Islam, a man is allowed to marry 4 times and have 4 wives. And I say to Emma, listen, your quota is full, mate. You've got me, I'm your 25%, and those 3 bikes make up for the 100%. So there is no more capacity or space for another missus. We're done.
To which I respond that whoever's married once wouldn't want to marry again. I mean, why would they?
Well, some daft buggers would. Anyways.
Well.
Anyways. So in terms of bikes, Emma has been riding a bike every other day. And how many miles have you done so far during Ramadan?
I think it's coming to about 250, 260k.
Wow. How many miles is that? Like 150 miles?
Oh, actually, sorry, that's 260 miles.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay, so you've done 260 miles in the last 2-ish weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're preparing for your 2 upcoming bike rides. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your upcoming bike rides?
Yes. So I've got a couple of bike rides. They're both charity bike rides. So the first one is called the Fred Whitten Challenge, which is in the Lake District. And that is 114 miles and about 10,000 feet of elevation. And the second one is called Chase the Sun, which is 200 miles. Starting from Whitley Bay, ending in Ayrshire, Scotland. and that is around 10,000 feet of elevation as well. And I'm doing these charity bike rides for a charity called My Name's Dolly Foundation, which is a motor neuron disease charity. So they're doing research and supporting people with MND. Earlier last year, one of my colleagues from work was diagnosed with MND, and she's around our age, and it was just such a devastating news. And she's been all over the news. She came down to Salford to appear on BBC, and she was basically the face of My Name's Dolly Foundation for the current year. But yeah, it's basically a terminal disease for people who don't know, and yeah, it's just debilitating because yeah, it basically you kind of waste away.
And you're raising money through your company for that, aren't you?
Yeah.
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 So I will add the link for anyone who wants to donate to that.
I think the word is debilitating. Did I say debilitating?
Yeah, you did.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it is. Yeah. So in terms of kind of cycling, I know we've spoken about it before, and you spoke about kind of representation within the cycling society within the UK that is expanding slowly but surely.
So representation within cycling as a sport is growing. It's still got a long way to go, and I don't only talk about ethnic minorities, I also talk about women in cycling. Women in cycling are paid a lot less than men are, and such is the case for almost every sport. But I guess in cycling, it is considerably less, to the point where women have to fund themselves at times. It is pretty bad. However, for ethnic minorities, especially Asian and Black communities, there is a lot of work that has been done in recent times. So there's a cycling club registered with British Cycling called Bob, Brothers on Bikes, and
I love that name.
it's pretty cool. And they're doing a lot in terms of representation. There's a cycling team called GAPT, and they established earlier this year, or towards the tail end of last year, and they are pushing ethnic minorities, specifically Asians, into local cycling circuits. They've got ultra distance racings and all sorts of things going on.
I think representation is so key, isn't it? Because I think COVID spoke volumes about how it was the BME groups that were largely affected by COVID in terms of the death rates and everything. Because the way our bodies are made, the way our lifestyle is, we're really unhealthy. We're not very outdoorsy. So it's really nice to see that slowly but surely the new generation is taking better care of themselves in terms of going for hikes, in terms of cycling, in terms of being involved with various sports. It's really, really nice to see that.
So I guess diversity in medicine is a completely different topic anyways. One race can be more prone to certain diseases and things like those.
No, but what I'm saying is it's good that we're taking better care of ours.
And then secondly, just coming back to what you said about taking better care of ourselves, being more active as we grow older, introducing resistance training into our lifestyle, and all of those things, all of those lifestyle choices have an impact on people's well-being, how they responded to COVID.
Yeah. So as I promised that we mention your bike, but this is also about relationship. Going back to a relationship.
Well, I've got a lovely relationship with my 3 bikes.
We know that. We've established that, Mr. I'm Obsessed.
Not.
He spent, so you know what? It's so funny because you spend one evening with me chilling, watching telly, and then you alternate. One day he spends time on his bike for a couple of hours.
She makes it out to be I spend time with my bike. It's not like I'm just sat next to my bike and just, looking into the abyss.
Can I just talk about how, right, listen, yeah. So when Emmett goes on these bloody bike rides, he has to have his location on because I'm a worried wreck about what if he falls off, what if he hurts himself. Anyways, I digress. So when Emma's been out on a long bike ride and it gets a bit muddy, he'll bring the bike back home and then he will literally wash it, he'll clean it, he'll get the hairdryer out and he'll dry what's it called? उसको क्या कहते हैं?
The chain.
Yeah, the chain. So he'll get the hairdryer and he'll dry the chain with so much love that I'm like, wow. In almost 9 years of marriage, I don't think he's ever paid that much attention to me in any way, shape, or form.
I thought that's what hairdryers were for.
What, to hairdry your chains?
Not hairdryer, just dry.
Yeah, dry. So, yeah, it just cracks me up the way you deal with your bike.
Well, I can't. The thing is, I can't hang a dirty bike on the wall, can I?
No, you can't.
Exactly. So there you go. Would you rather I did?
I just find the whole thing really comical, but that's fine. Right, going back to relationships, what do you think are the most important components of a relationship? So what do you think makes up the foundation of a relationship?
Having a hobby, bikes. Well, why not?
On a serious note, I mean that is important.
Yeah, so I think in a relationship you should always take time. Not probably the first thing that I should have mentioned, but you should take time out for yourself and just do something that you enjoy, and that can be your escape, not from reality, because there is no escaping this reality. You get that time to reflect and to just clear your mind and have that headspace. To just, and I think this is something that women can't do, just not think of anything.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, just not think of anything. Well,
he's married to an overthinker who thinks every single second of the day.
And men can actually do that, not think. So not think and just exist, which I know that I've been told women cannot do. So yeah, I think, yeah, I wouldn't have mentioned this as the first thing that is important in a relationship, but it is important.
But I think it's really important to have your own separate lives as well. Like it's good to have
absolutely
you love and enjoy, and but other than that, what other components in a relationship do you think are important?
I think trust is the very binary thing in any relationship.
100%.
I said binary, basic thing in any relationship. Everything is built on trust, and it's pretty basic. So yeah, I think, and just openness and friendship.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I did not know where that came into the conversation from, but yeah, she has these episodes. Completely normal people, completely normal. I've got used to them. I'm sure you will get used to them as well.
That was a song, that's a Bollywood song that's basically saying, Mujhse dosti karoge, be my friend, do friendships with me. Anyways, yeah, so for me, I think the basis of a relationship, or at least our relationship, I think is kind of having a mutual sense of respect. And I think, that willingness to compromise, but most importantly, communication. I know that's something you struggle with.
Of course I don't. How do I struggle with communication?
Anyhow.
Silence is a form of communication.
Yeah, a bit too often.
Well, men would agree.
Stop being passive-aggressive with me, yeah.
How is this passive-aggressive? This is stating the facts.
Listen, so communication, I think, so key. Like, being able to talk about your feelings, being able to communicate when there's conflict as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do it in like a civilized manner rather than losing it. I think.
Well, you should remember that next time you lose it.
But yeah, I think for me, there's those handful of things that really are the foundation, like the main kind of core of a relationship. I would say respect, I would say trust, I would say loyalty, I would say friendship, and most importantly, communication, I would say. I also recently have been thinking about this, I've been thinking about things like Valentine's Day and anniversaries and that kind of jazz, and how much unrealistic expectations there is of relationships. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy it when you bring me on the rare occasion, some flowers, or you'll order me something. Oh, you got me my docs this year, which is really, really thoughtful.
All these special £1 daffodils.
Oh my God. So Emmett has this thing, yeah.
Amazing.
Throughout the year, he doesn't.
Good value for money.
Throughout the year, he doesn't get me any flowers. And then as soon as spring hits, that's it. You will always see daffodils in my vases. That's because you can get a bunch for £1. So he'll get me a bunch for £1.
Well,
I'm happy. I'm not complaining.
Sometimes, well, depending on the time of the day you pick them up, sometimes they're reduced as well. So there you go. Try your luck.
Yeah. Anyway, so going back to Emma, so Emma uses humor to deflect like everything. So I have to keep bringing him back into like the real world.
I mean, how is that humor? That is life.
Yes, okay, Ahmed. So going back to unrealistic expectations, nowadays on social media, we see guys like covering the floor in flowers and candles.
Biv goof.
What does biv goof mean in English? For those
idiots.
Idiots. Rude. So, but I don't think relationship is about those grand gestures. I think...
Which is why I don't do it.
No, but like, jokes aside, let's be real for a minute. I do think, sometimes in a relationship, those small moments, for me, hold so much more value. Like the other day for Sehri, which means at dawn when we wake up to start our fast, I was so exhausted that I was still sleeping and you brought some toast up for me. And to me, that means so much more than you, I don't know, bringing me flowers. Because
There you go, gents. I'm doing it right.
Sometimes. So yeah, for me, it's kind of those small gestures that really, really matter. Because what's the point in you celebrating 2 days of the year, but the rest of the year, you don't make any effort? So I think nowadays, I would say people should perhaps not lower their expectations, because it's good to have high standards, but have realistic expectations. What would you say?
Uh-huh.
What do you mean, uh-huh?
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. What do you think about gestures like? Do you think?
Well, if someone wants to do it, well, good on them. But people should not be pressured into these specific days of celebrating their love on a specific day, and buying expensive chocolates and stuff.
And I do think as people who are in relationship, we should notice those smaller gestures throughout the day, because I think that makes you appreciate one another a lot more. So yeah, those were just my 2 pence in terms of what I've been thinking. And the other thing before we leave, I wanted to kind of mention was how, like, on paper, like, you were never my cup of chai. I just thought because you're so softly spoken and you're so gentle, you're such like a perfectionist, you've got all these qualities that are wonderful, but I never thought I'd be attracted to those qualities. I always thought I'd end up being with a party guy who's loud and who's, loud type of thing.
And she told me all this after I'd signed on the dotted line.
I did. I should have told you before, shouldn't I? But no, that's my reality. My reality was I thought I was attracted to those kind of guys. But, as life had it, we had an arranged marriage and now our personalities completely suit. And I think people shouldn't be so quick on saying, oh no, he or she's not my cup of tea. I think people should give one another a chance and allow the relationship to flourish. Because we did that, and look at us now.
Yeah. 3 bikes later.
These bloody bikes, I'm telling you. I read a meme the other day that proper cracked me up. It just reminded me of our relationship. So it said something like, in every partnership or in every relationship, there's a person who stacks the dishwasher like a Scandinavian architect, i.e. Emmett, and a person who stacks the dishwasher like a raccoon on meth, i.e. me. And literally, if like, when you see us actually loading the dishwasher, that's me. I'll put anything anywhere that it won't make sense. Emma will often take everything out and put it back in perfectly. And I think, would you say that pretty much defines our relationship?
Well, that's painting a gloomy picture, at least in my part anyways. But,
Well, it's a Scandinavian architect. I mean, that sounds pretty awesome to me.
well, I was talking more from the prospect of me
Married to a raccoon on meth.
married with a raccoon and meth. Married to a raccoon and meth. But, yeah, no, give yourself some credit. Not
yeah.
meth, something else.
High on life.
Yeah.
I am high on life, alhamdulillah, aren't I? I totally light up your days, that's for sure. I know I do. Like,
Sure.
I totally keep you entertained.
Uh-huh.
Which reminds me, so when I started doing this podcast business, and I told one of my friends, Rebecca, hiya Rebecca, when I told her that I'm doing it.
Which Rebecca?
Rebecca Pears.
Right.
Rebecca's first and only thing was, what I want to know is what Emma thinks about this new venture. So what do you think about my new little venture in the podcasting world?
Rebecca, mate, you know what I think. Well, do your thing, Natasha.
I'll always do my thing. Or do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you think...
No, why not? I mean, you said you wanted it for a long time. You know, you've taken to it.
Duck to water. No, what's the word? Like a duck to water or fish to water.
Like a raccoon to meth. But you've taken to it and you enjoy it. And yeah, if you enjoy it, why not?
Yeah. And I do love a chat. So, you know. Anyway, so we are, it's our 9-year wedding anniversary next week. And we're potentially not going to have the kids with us. We're just going to be hanging out. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I just wanted to say, keep us in your du'as and keep us in your thoughts and prayers. Pray that Allah strengthens our marriage. And like with all relationships, we have our highs and our lows and our ups and our downs, but we somehow get through it. And yeah. Would you like to say anything? Would you like to wish me a happy wedding anniversary?
Oh, yeah. Happy wedding anniversary, Natasha.
Thank you very much. What are we doing next year for our 10-year wedding anniversary, inshallah?
Hopefully not a podcast.
No, because we never know. You might want to do like a year later reflections.
But that's all right.
Yeah, I think we will do something exciting next year for our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Like a bike ride.
Bloody go away with these bike rides. Can you see what I have to put up with on a daily basis? Like, my competition is a blinking bike.
No, 3 blinking bikes.
Yeah, 3 blinking bikes. We won't tell the world about my potential allegation of you having an affair that one time. I don't think.
Yeah, talk about trust and loyalty.
Yeah, I don't think the world needs to know. There's certain things that we keep to ourselves. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for hanging out with us. And like I said, Emma's probably not going to be making another appearance, but Emma, I appreciate you. I value you. And I hope that we get to see many, many years together, inshallah.
Likewise.
He's not a man of many words, my husband, but that's okay. I kind of can do the talking for us both put together. But thank you for being here and chatting to us. And we will see you soon. Bye.
Oh, I need to say bye. Bye.
Oh, what am I doing with this guy? But like I said, guys, we plan on Allah plans. So, you know, Allah wanted this guy in my life forever, in this world and the hereafter. So I can't argue with that. Alhamdulillah, it's worked out. And before I forget, please do make a donation on the link that I'm going to share on the podcast and details, because I think it's a really, really lovely idea to support those who are in need, but also to raise awareness as well, because I don't know if many people know about this disease, but I think it's important that we talk about it, that we promote the knowledge on it, and that we raise money together to make a difference in people's lives, and also keep Emma's colleague in your prayers.
And it's bloody hard doing 100 miles in a day and 200 miles in a day. So please donate.
I mean, he says it like he hasn't signed up for it. He flipping loves it. Last year you did Coast to Coast, which is from,
Well, last year I did Manchester to Cardiff. The year before I did Coast to Coast.
yeah, and that was like 130 odd miles, right?
Yeah.
See, it always comes back to bloody bikes, doesn't it? I'm trying to get off this podcast and he still wants to bring his bike up. But yeah, on that note, I feel like we've waffled on a lot, but I hope you have enjoyed listening to us waffle on about what our core values and beliefs are in relation to relationships and also kind of Emma's love for bikes, and it might inspire one of you guys. And actually, all jokes aside, if anyone is interested in getting involved in bikes or wants to take the plunge and buy a bike, get into it, whatever, please do drop Emma a message. More than happy for someone to slide into your DMs to discuss all things bike.
Absolutely. And follow me on Instagram while you're at it.
Hey, all right then. Allah Hafiz. Bye.
Bye-bye.